news is that Anthony Joshua's come to you, Ronnie. Can you confirm or let the world know what it is right now?
What it is right now is he's talked to 3 trainers, Eddie Reynoso, Virgil Hunter, and myself. And he visited them 2 guys in California like Saturday, I guess. And then he came here Monday, and we talked for about 4 hours on Monday, face to face. And then today, I put him through a workout today. And then we talked about another 3 hours after that. And so we had a great talk. I think he's going to make up he's trying to make his mind up pretty soon. You know, he said, I'll call you, let you know what's up. So.
Cool. That's a good thing. That's a whole day. I see why you tired.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. That's a 48-hour shift. That's that nurse shift.
Yeah. But it went great, man. It went really good. You know, he's a really humble guy, man, and nice guy. And he's a boxer. So
now, without giving anything away, did you see the areas where you think you can improve him as a fighter?
Oh, absolutely. I watched the fight, so absolutely. I saw where he made his mistakes at, and I pointed that out to him. I let him know, and today I showed him some clips of the fight and went over a few things with him and showed him, what I thought he should have done that he didn't do, and he understood, and he saw the error of his mistakes, and that's what you have to do. You have to, fix that, and look, this guy's a good fighter, man, and I think he's a lot better than what he showed in this last fight against Usyk. And sometimes we all have bad days, but fighting for the heavyweight championship in the world, you definitely can be having bad days.
Well, those are the words of Ronnie Shields, as you guys heard. He gave you the 411 of what happened, the interaction, the desire for Anthony Joshua, what he was talking for. So that must have been an intense conversation for 4 hours, on what he was looking for. He went to Eddie Reynoso's gym, he went to Michael Hunter's gym, and then, of course, he went to Houston. But Houston wasn't his last stop, but this is where we're at right now. And he put him through a session, and like you heard him say, that they were working on areas that he could improve. Now, the question I have, though, is what from Rob McCracken didn't he do that Rob McCracken had instructed to do versus what he couldn't execute? Okay, so that's always a thing. You can tell a person to do one thing, and he didn't. Now, my problem with Rob McCracken is, though, I don't think that he gave him the right instruction. I don't think the people around him gave him the right. They didn't instruct him due to the urgency of the fight. They pulled wool over his eyes. They made him think that he was doing a lot better than he really was, and he wasn't. It was almost like a guy that was prone to lose, and then he gets a shot in. It's the most beautiful thing. It wasn't. Anthony Joshua got beat up. He got outboxed, and there's a lot of things he wasn't doing, and Rob McCracken, he said himself that there's areas, or AJ said it was areas that he needed to work on. Well, obviously he didn't know them all, because he came over here, and people are telling him where he did wrong. So, but maybe those might have been the same things that he knew, but I'm thinking there was something totally different, and I think Anthony Joshua should make his mind up to know where I should go and why I should leave. Okay, Rob McCracken, he's done good, he's done well. with Anthony Joshua. I do think, though, trainers, it's a lose-lose, especially when the fighter loses. Everyone loses because they get ridiculed. I understand that. It happens again and again. I didn't see Rob McCracken give bad instruction when he lost the first time to Andy Ruiz. I didn't. I didn't hear what Jonathan Banks said he heard Rob McCracken say. I never heard him say that. But of course, I wasn't there in Madison Square Garden that night. And Jonathan Banks was, I believe, right? So, but on this situation with Usyk, those people telling him brilliant, beautiful. It wasn't brilliant and it wasn't beautiful. AJ needed to do a lot more and he didn't. But I think he didn't know how to. He didn't know how to execute doing a lot more and being different. So I think he looked limited. He looked awkward. He looked unsure, of what was really going on with Usyk. So, Usyk put it to him, and it was crazy because the last round told you the story of what could have been, because Usyk then was a guy that opened up. And when you open up being the technical guy, that's the opportunity for the guy that is not or is least technical to make a ripple in that fight. And Anthony Joshua didn't have it. So a lot of people question, like, okay, well, where was he really at? I think he was mentally frustrated. Then I think by the time the 12th round came around, he was already mentally defeated. As far as he could, like, man, I can't hit this guy like I want. He could have opened up. Now, the 12th round could have been more fireworks instead of, hey, let me get hit, dodge, hit, dodge. Now this guy has fought me and beat and punched me to the ropes, right? And have me on retreat mode. And then when the bell rings, which was early, it wasn't early. I don't care, like that. You see, even if the digital clock, it was full 3 minutes and the clock was off. Well, if the clock was off, that meant it should have been longer than what it should have actually supposed to been. So based off the clock, though, okay, it should have been over. It should have, if anything, it should have been longer because the digital clock was off. But what do you go on, the digital clock or what? I don't know, man. I'd seen that towel and all that looked strange. But nonetheless, he was going to lose anyway. And that story told a lot about AJ. Like, look, he prepared for this type of fight and got a whole different fight in front of him. So Ronnie Shields, I think, it was nice of him to try him out to see where his head's at. That's what a lot of trainers do anyway. If you can remember, Teddy Atlas was with Andy Ruiz at one point, and he told him what was expected of him, and he didn't end up going with Teddy Atlas. But Teddy Atlas was going to be with him about 2 weeks to see exactly where he was. Then it was a good idea for Teddy because, according to Andy's reputation, Andy had a reputation of being lazy. So he had to go somewhere that he was going to be pushed and challenged. So I'm glad he's with the Reynosos. Now the question is that right for Anthony Joshua or not? Oh, shout out to LIONKILLA podcast, by the way. He was on the podcast. They conducted the interview with Ronnie Shields. So shout out to those fellows over there. And, we have to see where Joshua is at and who he decides to go with. But one thing has been confirmed. He is looking for new trainers like we've noticed. So at least we know that much. I don't know Rob McCracken. Did he just fire him? I don't know. But hey, you just went somewhere else. But here's the thing. Rob McCracken has other things to do, like get Olympics and other amateurs ready. So I don't think he's worried about anything. I don't think you could get a rise out of Rob McCracken anyway, because he's just kind of right. But anyway, it was an interesting interview with Rob McCracken, and this is like the first volume of Counterpunching that interview. You guys tell me what you think of Rob McCracken's comments. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.